Hello, Formula One fans. This is Shabir from IFF1. I have Tane and Ujan with me, our community members, and similar Formula One fans with us, right? So, today we are going to talk about the Australian Grand Prix, which happened today itself. And it was such a fantastic race to watch, right? Lots of points to talk about, and we'll get straight into it. But before that, don't forget to subscribe and like our video and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content about Formula One, which will be coming in shortly. Okay, so we'll move ahead. Tane, what do you think about today's race?
I felt good race. Especially coming into Australia after I guess 200 300 days we were first racing in Australia, so it felt good. Being a fan myself, I felt disappointed for Science. At the same time, I felt happy for Leclerc. And whatever the issues were with Verstappen, I think we'll discuss it further in the podcast. And I it felt like a nice clean race, although be much happier if Sebastian would have finished and if Alonso would have finished much higher. But it was a clean race. I think that the changes they made definitely impacted racing, and I'll be looking forward to more.
That's correct. And it's after 2 years that during the pandemic, the race did not happen in Australia, as it was very good coming back to the Australian sunny days. Especially, it was the first day race after Brazil 2021. So we had quite a few night races in between, and this was definitely a good comeback race. Okay. So yeah, good points you made about the science spinning off, and could not finish good. Ferrari doing better. Ujan, what are your thoughts on science?
Well, Sainz was looking like somebody who could make a real impact before obviously Alonso got out the red flag due to his own. But a very poor start, which I felt he started ninth. He could move up to higher points paying positions, but he went down to 15th and then he ultimately spun. He could have had a great race ahead. Probably after the strategy calls, he could have made it up to the podium if he was fast enough. But luck didn't have his side today.
Correct. So the strategy was very good, starting on hards and then, probably towards the later of the stage when you are lighter on the fuel, go on medium and push for more positions. So the strategy was good, but I think the tires did not heat up well for Sainz, and it was rather unfortunate that during the pushing he went off, right? So another good thing about the start was Mercedes. A very good start by Lewis Hamilton. Ujjan, what do you think about that? Before I come back to Tane for his viewpoints on that start by Lewis, I would like to hear it from first you.
Sure. Like obviously, Lewis Hamilton was able to overtake because Max somehow also cut off Sergio from making a good start. Then Lewis was able to brake late and move past him. To talk about George, who was able to get past Lando. So George answered a great start. If he could be behind his teammate and also challenge Sergio, he would not have finished in the podium places if he was behind. I think that was a good start by him as well.
Right, Tane, and what do you think about start by Hamilton?
Yeah. Yes, I felt that it was a nice start. Whatever their setup problems were in the first two races, I felt that Mercedes has eliminated them. They minimized that risk. They were running good setups. I felt the focusing problem was not there with Mercedes. I didn't feel their head bouncing like I saw on the television. I felt they set up right, had the perfect. They backed up one podium. I felt that that was perfect. Uh, like Ujjan said that that was I think kind of being by Verstappen. It was not his fault. I'm saying Verstappen's fault, but see it coming. So Perez had to pull off the pedal, and that maybe cost Perez some time in the opening lap. But as we saw, he regained it after a while. So it was nice for Hamilton.
Right, very good point over there. Verstappen was trying to move on the left hand side. Perez saw him coming and had to back off of the throttle a bit, so that they do not crash in, and that opened the gap to Lewis Hamilton. Very good point over there. But eventually, even Russell made two places up. He overtook uh, both the he overtook, I think, Lando. So that was again a very good thing which happened over there. He moved up a couple of places, and when there was a safety car for Sainz, and it was a probably very good free pit stop which he received. Okay, so that allowed him to go deeper into the race, and very good strategy there by Mercedes for Russell. Eventually, they were kind of very lucky, or probably I would say not lucky, but they were at the right place at the right moment, which is happening for them past few races. Sometimes it goes the other way around as well. Okay, but yeah, it was rather very good, and very nice. But eventually, I think Ferrari are bang on, doing very good. What are you guys think about Ferrari's comeback, especially after what happened in 2019, 2020? 2021 was good. They were coming back, but now in 2022, with sudden all the rule changes, they are kind of dominating now, right? So it's kind of a slum has ended, and now they are on the top again. Very good positioning of themselves. Two races victory in the starting three and one second place podium. Your inputs on that, both of you, one by one.
See, myself being a Ferrari fan, I'm very happy for Ferrari that they're back to the place that we belong, that we deserve. Whatever the 2019 engine problems were, the 2019, 2020 we had that engine that is behind us. 2021 we climbed up a little bit. We improved on our previous performances, but not that much. And 2022, it's the perfect start for Ferrari. Uh, they won the first 1-2 coming in Bahrain. Then they won. Then Leclerc won 3 out of the 2 races that we have had so far. So I think that's a perfect challenge for Ferrari that we are putting up this year. And I think that if we continue this, we'll definitely have a shot at the championship this year, both the drivers and the constructors championship.
John, your points on Ferrari. Come back.
See, I became a Formula One fan after I watched the movie Rush. So definitely I'm a big fan. But seeing 2020 was pure pain for me. 2021 the pain lessened, and it was full on party for us. And I hope it can continue like this till the end of the season. One thing Ferrari need to see, Sainz can at least do the level, if not match the level of Leclerc. Everybody knows Sainz is Mr. Consistent, and if possible, he can maybe even fight for the championship. But it looks like Leclerc is the one who will be the main contender for Ferrari. And I think that if Red Bull don't pull their socks up with reliability, Ferrari are going to run away with it.
Right. Before we come up to the Red Bull's reliability, that's a very good point of science. Science is kind of Mr. Lucky in Ferrari car, right? Yesterday, as you have previously highlighted, just before the red flag, he was about to finish his lap. Probably could have been podium or the front row, but unfortunately, he was stripped off because of the red flag, which happened just moments before he crossed the line. So he had to back off. The lap did not count. Unfortunate. Today he started on the hard tires. There were no the tires were not properly warmed up, and he was rather then into a defending position. He was more of a attacking. That's where he lost it on his hard tires. Because of the same place, we also saw Kevin Magnussen go off right after he put on his hards and he was pushing, but he kind of made it stable and very good, right? So Sainz was, yes, rather very unlucky in this particular race. He lost out, but I'm sure he can fight for championship, right? Tane, you already said. Haas, I would like to hear from Ujan. Haas has lost out. The previous 2 races in Bahrain and Saudi, they showed a lot of performance. But here today in Australia, that performance kind of, went back a bit. Do you think it might be because of the track, or the track is not suiting their aerodynamics, or what can be the reason? Can we see something improve in Imola in 2 weeks' time?
Well, what I found is that obviously Haas made the biggest step possible. Like from scoring 2 points in 2 years, they scored 10 points in the very first race with a driver who didn't have 2 years of Formula One experience. But now coming back to Australia, starting to show 2020 colors again. But I believe that Haas is very much a team who can, like, towards the latter stages of the year, at least fight for podiums, I believe, because they look to be very strong, and that Ferrari power unit is, we all know how good that is. I think the problem over here for Haas was setup, because that's what Mr. Steiner said, and we all know that he is a person who doesn't like to play with words. He gives it to us straight as it is, and if they can solve their setup problems, I look forward to Imola.
Correct, correct. Very good insight over there on the Haas. Probably will have hope to see them good, consistent in the top 10 going forward, and probably a podium here and there will definitely make them very good. Let's come to Red Bull. Second race out of the third, the power unit has given up. Worrying signs for Red Bull, Tane?
Yes, I think they are a little worrying signs for Red Bull, but at the same time I feel that it's not easy for some team to develop a new engine after taking over Honda's power systems. The second issue, as I saw somewhere reported, that it was much more with the fuel line delivery. That's why Perez was told not to worry. It's not the issue with the rest of the Red Bull powered cars. It's just an issue with the Verstappen powered car. So I think that it's more a bit of Verstappen. As we saw before the race, they were also, the Red Bull mechanics were there at Verstappen's car. They were repairing something. The precise details of still not they were repairing. Perhaps we have to listen to Mr. Horner afterwards. And yes, I feel that it's a bit worrying signs for Red Bull. But at the same time, we have seen that when that engine is capable, it's capable of producing some of the most fastest speed that is producing in a straight line. That's not Mercedes even capable of. Only Ferrari is matched by that same power. So I think they should improve whatever issues they're having, fuel line issues. I think they are fuel delivery issues, and I think that we'll be able to see Verstappen and Red Bull at the top once again, fighting for the wins, fighting for the championship, rather than thinking about finishing the race.
Very good report. Very good points over there. Yes, Perez was told not to worry about his car. It was not an issue with other RB cars. Very important. But I personally feel that these issues are, pushing them behind in the fight for the championship, right? These are absolutely not the correct way to start the season. We already lost, if not more, at least 36 points have already been lost by him. Okay, and we already know that Charles is already 33 points ahead. With Mercedes are developing the car, they are coming to the speed, but 33 points is in the three races is something which is very good for Ferrari, right? So I really hope Red Bull will come back into their power thing, and it is really helpful for them. Towards the end, what we saw in the race is about the Williams, right? They they kind of did one stop only with Albon on the 58th lap, the last lap. They stopped because it was required by the rules. Ujjain, would you like to throw some lights and talk about it?
Uh, as far as I would like to commend Williams for this magnificent, like, strategy that they've pulled off, but I think lot more of the credit goes to Albon himself, because Latifi was nowhere noticeable in this race today. Like, I'm not saying he did bad compared to the other races that he has raced at. He was just there. There was nothing special about him. But Albon drove a solid race from start to finish, starting 20th after being disqualified in quali to being 10th at the end of the race. He was 7th till lap 57. Then he pitted, and then he was 10th. So that is an amazing thing. According to me, Albon deserved the Driver of the Day award because of an amazing job that he did, especially in a car like the Williams. But I think that Williams do need to ask both of their drivers to perform such like this on a day-to-day basis. Otherwise, Aston Martin might catch up soon enough.
That's true. That's true. And very good point you put up. Both the drivers need to catch up, and very good thing. Albon started P20 because of the disqualification that happened to him during the qualifying of not providing a fuel that required. But he did very well. He came up to P7, like you mentioned. But I also want to put up one point, and would like Tane to comment on it. Do you think Alonso, Magnussen, Albon, these three guys missed to pit during the safety car? That could have changed little bit course of their race. Maybe Albon could have finished higher, Alonso could have finished higher. What's your thought on that?
Yes, I feel that they could have benefited from that. They had two windows where they could pit in. I think there were two safety cars. Whatever this is, we don't know the insights to that, but I think they both could have benefited. They all of them could have finished much higher. And as we already know that Australia is a track where the sun was shining very brightly, the track temperatures were above 40 degrees, and so the graining was high. And whatever Albon did, hats off to him. He managed to hold on to the hard tires for 58 laps, 57 laps, in fact. And they could have benefited if they had pitted earlier. God knows, they might have lost also, they might have gained also. But that I think that was a risk worth taking. They should have called Alonso in, at least Alonso and Magnussen in. They could have called him, and because of Alonso, it was really unfortunate because Ocon was finished much higher than Alonso. Alonso finished behind points, so that's not the kind of fight that Alpine is looking at right now. They are really looking like Alonso was almost on a pole lap before unfortunately crashing out. So that's not the kind of place Alpine would have expected Alonso to have finished him. And I feel like that's a strategy call Alpine should have taken.
Correct. I completely agree with you. Alonso definitely does not look to finish so lower in the rankings. Could have been higher, especially the performance that he's trying to pull up. It's very amazing and very good. Ocon finished seventh, which was very nice. McLaren coming back to the fray, right? They finished fifth and sixth. Very nice. Awesome job after the two terrible races they had, right? So do you think we think that they both Ricardo and Norris are now getting a car which is up for their liking? 2 weeks of time which they got uh, between Saudi Arabia and Australian Grand Prix, they have kind of resolved their issues with the car, and the drivers are sitting back together to know what they're supposed to do, what they're not supposed to do, what where the car needs to improve. These are some very small points which matter a lot. Ujan, what's your thought on that, McLaren?
I don't think this is a thing about McLaren in general, but I think it's the Mercedes power unit. I think such a track like Australia, I think it is a strong point for the Mercedes cars because, see, Mercedes, I believe this year is at least the king of the midfield. They raced today like they were a top flight team. McLaren became the king of the midfield instead of being somewhere lower down in the midfield. Aston Martin and Williams, who are back markers this season, they are fighting for the points. So I think Australia is a track which really prefers the Mercedes, and it will remain to be seen what Mercedes powered teams can do in other tracks. But obviously, McLaren have a really exciting driver lineup. The youth and the great driving skills of Lando, and obviously we have the Honey Badger, who is probably one of the best drivers in our generation. So it needs to be seen what they can do in the remaining races.
Yes, very true. Oh, very true. I really like the fights between the four cocks which is going on. Ferrari are clearly on top. Red Bull are chasing them very highly. Mercedes coming into the fray with Alpine and McLaren, top five teams in Formula One today, fighting it out. Very nice with the kind of strategy Williams pulled out in this race. Very nice. I liked it. First podium for Russell in a Mercedes color. That is also very nice. Something he would like to have it on the top stop, but he finished third. Lucky, as I mentioned earlier. We are moving to Imola now. We are moving to Imola for the next race. A very power terrain, a very high demand of speed. What do you expect of Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes over there? Quick thoughts, a preview for Imola before the time runs out. We'll start with Tane.
As you said that high terrain, high powered circuit Imola it is. Yes, I agree with you. I think Ferrari still would have a slight advantage. I think Red Bull would still need some catching up. And as we all know, Verstappen's luck in Italy is not that well. Though he won in Imola, but still his luck in Italy seems to fade out every time he visits Italy. Weather could be a very important play as it comes to Imola, as we have seen in the past couple of races. It's likely to rain, and that could change the whole game. But I still feel Ferrari would be on top with Red Bull following, and I feel that it would be a much better weekend for Alonso and Alpine. And I feel that Mercedes would feel some drawbacks. That's my preview for Imola.
Ujjan, your thoughts?
Okay, I'm just going to make a really bold prediction here. But considering last year's performances and the overall experience that he has, I'm going to say that there is a chance that Sergio Perez will again outqualify Verstappen. And if Red Bull can keep their engine together, then I believe Sergio Perez has a chance of winning. I would really like to see Checo winning in Europe. It would be an amazing thing. And Checo, everybody loves Checo. And if we could see a Red Bull 1-2, it would be amazing. And another very bold prediction for the end of the season, I think every single team is going to score points this season.
That's a very good thing because we already have all the teams scoring the points except for Aston Martin. They're running out of some luck at this point of time, but I'm sure they'll come up. There are quite a few races, 20 more to go. I'm sure they'll be able to score quite a few points. I hope the same for Williams. Very good prediction over there about the Checo. He's having a car to his liking. He's pushing. He's at the right place. He's scoring podiums, and he's scoring good points for Red Bull this season. So let's hope your prediction does hold true. But a Ferrari winning in Italy, oh, that's a sight worth watching. It will come through. Let's hope we all get what we are liking for. So thank you, Tyler. Thank you for your time, guys. It's really nice talking to you. And for our fans over there, uh, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Join our WhatsApp group. And for more discussion on F1, uh, like and subscribe our video and channel on YouTube for more content on Formula One and races. Thank you for your time. This is Shabbir signing off from IFF1 with Tane and Ujjar. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.